of chariots completely decorated with gold equipment. At that time, Kamsa, the son of Ugrasena, in order to please his sister Devaki, had voluntarily taken the reins of the horses of Vasudeva's chariot and was driving. According to the custom of Vedic civilization, when a girl is married, the brother takes the sister and brother-in-law to their home. Because the newly married girl may feel too much separation from her father's families, the brother goes with her until she reaches her father-in-law's house. The full dowry contributed by Devaka was as follows: 400 elephants fully decorated with golden garlands, 15,000 decorated horses, and 1,800 chariots. He also arranged for 200 beautiful girls to follow his daughter. The Kshatriya system of marriage, still current in India, dictated that when a Kshatriya is married, a few dozen of the bride's young girl friends go to the house of the king. The followers of the queen are called maidservants, but actually they act as a friends of the queen. This practice is prevalent from time immemorial, traceable at least to the time before the advent of Lord Krishna 5,000 years ago. So Vasudeva brought home another 200 beautiful girls along with his wife.
Yeah, continue.
While the bride and bridegroom were passing along on the chariot, there were different kind of musical instruments playing to indicate the auspicious moment. There were conch shells, bugles, drums, and kettle drum. Combined together, they were vibrating a nice concert. The procession was passing very pleasingly, and Kamsa was driving the chariot when suddenly there was a miraculous sound vibrated from the sky which specially announced to Kamsa, Kamsa, you are such
Such
a
a
fool. You are driving the chariot of your sister and your brother-in-law, but you don't know that the eighth child of the sister will kill you.
Okay, so this is an announcement generally made by the Devatas. And sudden Pagamsa came to know some mystic announcement now. Now he acted. Yes.
Kamsa was the son of Ugrasena of the Bhoja dynasty. It is said that the Kamsa was the most demoniac of all the Bhoja dynasty kings. Immediately after hearing the prophecy from the sky, he caught hold of Devaki's hair and was just about to kill her with his sword. Vasudeva was astonished at Kamsa's behavior, and in order to pacify the cruel, shameless brother-in-law, he began to speak as follows with great reason and evidence. He said, "My dear brother-in-law Kamsa, you are the most famous king of the Bhoj dynasty, and people know that you are the greatest warrior and a valiant king. How is it that you are so infuriated that you are prepared to kill a woman who is your own sister at this auspicious time of her marriage? Why should you be so much afraid of death? That is already born along with your birth. From the very day of you took your birth, you began to die. Suppose you are 25-year old. That means you have already died 25 years.
Okay, now he comes to know the death, just like explaining in the chapter. When anybody is scared of death, he loses all character. An example is Kamsa. Kamsa lost all his character because of fear of death. We should not be scared. Jo dar gaya, mar gaya, loses all character. Person should always be happy in every situation, accepting of the will of the Lord. Now he should have, rather than knowing that this is there, That's okay. Dronacharya came to know that when somebody is bound to kill him, Drishadumna, the Dronacharya did not attack Drupada or his son. He didn't try to kill him. And Drishadumna came for Dronacharya for training. He said, okay, train me. And Dronacharya said, I'll train you. And why did you train him? He's going to kill him. That's okay. If I knew I had to die one day. That used to be, fearlessness. So even Parikshit Maharaj came to know the curse of a Brahmana, the small Brahmana child will kill him, but Parikshit Maharaj did not get angry. He did not plan to kill the child. He continued his peaceful behavior. He was very cool, Parikshit Maharaj. And he gave his throne to the son Janamejaya. So within our rules and etiquettes, when certain things are beyond that, we don't break our head against the law. We understand the will of the Lord. Sometimes we can appreciate will of the Lord. Sometimes we cannot appreciate will of the Lord. But actually, will of the Lord is always for our good. So he understood. Instead of accepting in that situation, he tried to fight the situation. And he did only sin and nothing could stop. At the end, the 8th child killed him anyway. But during the whole course, he did more and more sinful activity. That's all. Yes, Kamsa was. And then what happened? Now, Vasudeva got very surprised, and there is a beautiful picture of this scene. If you see this, the scene, Vasudeva. Here's the scene. Can you see this? Can you see this? This is a very nice scene. So this is Vasudeva is trying to instruct Kamsa not to do it, and he is father of Krishna. Krishna gave the message of Bhagavad Gita. Vasudeva also gives a lot of spiritual knowledge to Kamsa, but Kamsa has no brain to understand. And then Vasudeva gives him a promise. Okay, the 8th child of my wife will, no, you're worried of the child, I'll give you all the children. Do what you want. And Kamsa was very much here. Vasudeva, very pious, noble man. He's the man of the world. He said, okay. And he leaves them. But look at the teaching now Vasudeva will give to Kamsa. Yeah. My dear brother-in-law, Kamsa, you are the most famous king of the Bhoja dynasty. How? And you are the greatest warrior. How is it you are inferior? You are prepared to kill a woman who is your own sister. Why you should be so much afraid of death? So spiritual knowledge, why you are scared of death? Very important point. Nobody should be scared of death. But Corona situation, people are scared. Why you are scared of death? Death is there. Moment you're born, death is there. One day you have to die anyway. What happened once, somebody was telling, they were in an aircraft. Sometimes there is urgent landing. The aircraft, some problem came. So he said, I'm going to land on the agriculture field. The pilot was smart. He landed the agriculture field somewhere and safely. So everybody was very happy because anything mistake can happen. And they were very happy. So one man was sitting there peacefully. So what happened? He said, we're going to die one day, but today we didn't die. The people are saying, oh my God, we are celebrating, and this man is saying, anyway to die, but today we didn't die. One day, aircraft disaster, we will die. Like that. So it's like that. You may survive today, but tomorrow death is certain. So he's saying, my dear brother-in-law, why you are scared of death? It's very important. Why are you scared of death? But that's our problem. He gets scared. Then all the things loses. Death is already born along with your birth. The birth is there. From the very day you take birth, you began to die. Suppose you are 25-year-old, that means you have already died 25 years. So we celebrate birthday, but actually there is nothing to celebrate. One more year, you're gone near death. That's all. Just like in a slaughterhouse, now one more day, as one day neck is getting cut. Every moment, every second, people are dying and going near the death. When you should be so much afraid of death. Why? Just like you're sitting on a conveyor belt and it is slowly moving toward the machine, going to cut you. So as the time increases, more and more danger, because any day now machine is coming. Okay, Mataji, you have read this paragraph?
No, Prabhuji.
We continue.
Every moment, every second, you are dying. Why then should you be so much afraid of death? Final death is inevitable. You may die either today or in 100 years. You cannot avoid death. Why should you be so much afraid? Actually, death means annihilation of the present body. As soon as the present body stops functioning and mixes with the five elements of material nature, the living entity within a body accepts another body according to his present action and reaction. It is just as when a man walks on the street, he puts forward his foot, and when he is confident that his foot is situated on the sound ground, he lifts the other foot. In this way, one after another, the body changes and the soul transmigrates. See how the plant worms change from one twig to another so carefully. Similarly, the living entity changes his body as soon as the higher authorities decide on his next body. As long as a living entity is conditioned within this material world, he must take material bodies one after another. His next particular body is offered by the laws of nature according to the actions and reactions of this life.
Death is already born along with your birth. From the day you took your birth, you began to die. Suppose you're 25-year-old, that means you already died 25 years. Correct? We are going near the slaughtering machine. Why should he? Death is inevitable. You may die today or tomorrow or in 100 years. You cannot avoid death. Why you should be so much afraid? Now he's giving an argument. When you walk on the street, when the firm ground is there, you lift your previous leg. Then he gives an example of plant worm. It goes from one twig to another carefully. When he puts his holding on the next leaf, and then he jumps from this leaf. So that's way the soul goes from one body to another. Okay, he must take material bodies one after another. This is spiritual. See that spiritual knowledge is so much permeating the society. Anyways, a person who he received Krishna as a son, so he's not ordinary man. He has spiritual knowledge. His next particular body is offered with the laws of nature according to the actions or reactions of this life. Beautiful.
This body is exactly like one of the bodies which we always see in dreams. During our dream of sleep, we create so many bodies according to mental creation. We have seen gold and we have also seen a mountain. So in a dream, we can see a golden mountain by combining the two ideas. Sometimes in dreams, we see that we have a body which is flying in the sky, and at that time, we completely forget our present body. Similarly, these bodies are changing. When you have one body, you forget the past body. During a dream, we may take contact with so many new kinds of bodies, but when we are awake, we forget them all. And actually, these material bodies are the creations of our mental activities. But at the present moment, we do not recollect our past bodies.
Okay, is it clear? We don't recollect our past bodies, and we may contact with so many kind of bodies. When you awake, you forget them all. Okay, this is going very systematically.
The nature of the mind is flickering.
It's okay. Just one thing about the dream. Is it clear? I use the dream as one of the evidence of that we are not the body, because dream time we are into so many hallucinations. We think we are the body, but body is lying flat. But you're into so many dreams, this word, that word. So independent of the body, you get so many experiences. So how can you say you are the body? So the nature of the mind is flickering.
The nature of the mind is flickering. Sometimes it accepts something and immediately it rejects the same thing. Accepting and rejecting is the process of the mind in contact with the five objects of sense gratification: form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. In its speculative way, the mind comes in touch with the objects of sense gratification, and when the living entity desires a particular type of body, he gets it. Therefore, the body is an offering by the laws of material nature. The living entity accepts a body and comes out again into the material world to enjoy or suffer according to the construction of the body. Unless we have a particular type of body, we cannot enjoy or suffer according to our mental proclivities inherited from the previous life. The particular type of body is actually offered to us according to our mental condition at the time of death.
Okay, so that's the law. We studied that in the Bhagavad Gita in the 8th chapter. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajate ante kalevaram. Whatever thing you contemplate the time of death, you get a body accordingly. The continue, Mataji.
The luminous planets like the sun, moon, or the stars reflect themselves in different type of reservoirs like water, oil, or ghee. The reflection moves according to the movement of the reservoir. The reflection of the moon is on the water, and the moving water makes the moon also appear to be moving. But actually, the moon is not moving. Similarly, by mental consciousness, the living entity attains different kind of bodies, although actually he has no connection with such bodies, but an account of illusion, being enchanted by the influence of Maya, the living entity thinks that he belongs to a particular type of body. That is the way of conditioned life. Suppose a living entity is now in a human form of body. He thinks that he belongs to the human community or a particular country or particular place. He identifies himself in that way and unnecessarily prepares for another body which is not required by him. Such desires and mental concoction are the cause of different type of bodies. The covering influence of material nature is so strong that the living entity is satisfied in whatever body he gets, and he identifies with that body with great pleasure. Therefore, I beg to request you not to be overwhelmed by the dictation of your mind and body.
Yes, don't be overwhelmed. Let us understand this. The luminous planets are like the sun, moon, and star reflect themselves in different types of reservoirs like water, oil, or ghee. The reflection moves according to the movement of the reservoir. Reflection moon is on the water, the moving water makes the moon also. Isn't it very nice symbolism? When you have a reflection water and the water is shaking, it looks like the moon is shaking. Similarly, with some, nothing happens to the soul, nothing happens to the Lord, but we take different kind of bodies. Actually, we have no connection with those bodies. But on account of illusion, enchanted influence of Maya, living entity thinks he belongs to the particular type of body. Just like water is shaking, we say moon is shaking. So we think I am also involved in this situation, that situation, but soul is always out of any situation. It is independent of the body and everything. It has nothing to do with the body or the society or the country it has landed on. Yes, it's in a foreign place. He thinks he's in a particular community, from a particular country, but he doesn't belong anywhere. He only belongs to the Lord. Sarvopati vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesh sevana bhakti uchita. When you understand I do not belong to this world, then only you can achieve pure bhakti. Take it, the covering of the mental nature is so strong, living it satisfies what our body gets and identify the particular. Therefore, I beg to request you not to overwhelm the dictation of your body. Now, is it everybody is fine? Just like my input. Are we going very slow or very fast? Just give me some time. You have been patiently listening. Hare Krishna, how is it going? Any input? Is it fine? Mataji is reading slowly on our request. Is it fine? You're able to hear Krishna book? Yes,
It's
Bijou.
fantastic. It's fantastic, Prabhuji.
Okay.
It's fantastic.
It is fine.
Perfect. Very good, Prabhuji. Enjoy it.
Yes, Mataji, we are getting a lot of fans now. And we will discuss after we finish this chapter is a little longer, then we will aram se discuss. CC we will postpone for today. We will not do. We will actually 9:15 was supposed. We have to read for 45 minutes. But better finish this every chapter one time. Let us just few more minutes together finish this chapter. Mataji,
Yes, Prabhuji.
thank you. See, your voice is very clear.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Chalo.
Shall I continue, Prabhuji?
Yeah, Vasudeva does question. Does request.
Vasudeva thus requested Kamsa not to be envious of his newly married sister.
Just wait. You give chance and their children are ready. No, not this. It's already there.
Vasudeva,
Wait, Mataji. Yeah, no.
Vasudeva thus requested Kamsa not to be envious of his newly married sister. One should not be envious of anyone because envy is the cause of fear, both in this world and in the next, when one is before Yamraja, the Lord of punishment after death. Vasudeva appealed to Kamsa on behalf of Devaki, stating that she was his younger sister. He also appealed at an auspicious moment at the time of marriage. A younger sister or brother are supposed to be protected as one's children. The position is overall so delicate. Vasudeva reasoned that if you will kill her, it will go against your high reputation.
Yeah, continue.
Vasudeva tried to pacify Kamsa by good instruction as well as by philosophical discrimination. But Kamsa was not to be pacified because his association was demoniac. Because of his demoniac association, he was also a demon, although born in a very high royal family. A demon never cares for any good instruction. He is just like a determined thief. One can give him moral instruction, but it will not be effective. Similarly, those who are demoniac or atheistic by nature can hardly assimilate any good instruction, however authorized it may be. This is the difference between demigod and demon. Those who can accept good instruction and try to live their lives in that way are called demigods, and those who are unable to take such good instruction are called demons. Failing in his attempt to pacify Kamsa, Vasudeva wondered how he would protect his wife Devaki. When there is imminent danger, an intelligent person should try to avoid the dangerous position as far as possible. But if, in spite of endeavoring by all intelligence,
So he tried now. He tried to convince him by very good arguments. Some of the arguments he talked about is to see, understand that death, we should not be scared of death. Death comes anytime. He taught him how the body is temporary, soul is permanent. We go from one body to another body. He took example of walking of a man, of a small insect. It goes from one leaf to another leaf to explain how the soul is going from one body to another. Then doesn't work. He taught about the flickering nature of the mind, not to trust the mind which is flickering, and it creates so many situations. That also did not work. And all philosophical discrimination, nothing work. It may be that's a demon. Demon means those who accept good instruction and try to live their lives are called demigod. But those who cannot, like stone, you throw water on stone, stone doesn't absorb, everything falls away. So he tried to pacify Kamsa, but he saw this man is not listening. And then next, when there is imminent danger, intelligence should try to avoid the dangerous position as well. But if in spite of endeavoring by all intelligence, next, yes.
intelligence, one failed to avoid the dangerous position. There is no fault on his part. One should try his best to execute his duties. But if the attempt fail, he is not at fault.
Okay, so he tried as dutifully, but what can be done? This fellow doesn't listen. Yeah.
Vasudeva thought of his wife as follows. For the present, let me save the life of Devaki. Then later on, if there are children, I shall see how to save them. He further thought, if in the future I get a child who can kill Kamsa, just as Kamsa is thinking, then both Devaki and the child will be saved, because the law of providence is conceivable. But now, some way or other, let me save the life of Devaki.
So now, what is the prophecy? The eighth child of Devaki will kill you. You should say, okay, that's fine. Parikshit Maharaj came to know 7 days the snake will come and kill him. He did not do damasha over there. Okay, I got 7 days time. Kamsa got a calculator. I got 8 years now, at least 8 years. I can 8 years. I have time to prepare for death. Instead of that, kill this woman, kill the child. Nothing. He still died after 8 years or 12 years. That's why Krishna came and killed him. Nothing happened. Nothing saved. He had to die. What he was to die, what did happen. But for that, he did so much sin. Try to understand in this way. So Vasudeva unnecessarily jumping. So now Vasudeva thinks about it. If it is that he has to be killed by the eighth child, then it is going to happen anyway. Nothing can be done. So let me now save the life of Devaki. Later we will see what is going to happen. Yeah. Now continue.
There is no certainty how a living entity contacts a certain type of body, just as there is no certainty how the blazing fire comes in contact with a certain type of wood in the forest. When there is a forest fire, it is experienced that the blazing fire sometimes leaps over one tree and catches another by the influence of the wind. Similarly, a living entity may be very careful and fearful in the matter of executing his duty, but it is still very difficult for him to know what type of body he is going to get in the next life. Maharaj Bharat was very faithfully executed the duties of self-realization, but by chance he contacted temporary affection for a deer, and he had to accept his next life in the body of a deer.
Very nice. So what happens? Everybody should be careful and fearful. Very nice. I love this word. Careful and fearful. Just like you see a young boy, say 12, 13-year-old, on the side, how much they do? Every time they're careful and fearful. It looks so sweet, that innocence. Always be like that. Careful, I don't make a mistake. Fearful, no aparadha should happen. Always never be proud. Never be proud. Always careful and fearful. That's a beautiful nature to have. And when you see somebody careful, you also feel so happy about it. You should, hey, you've done aparadha. I've done aparadha. Fearful. And careful, do things very nicely. And fearful, some mistake should happen. Isn't it? The beautiful behavior. So, but he said, this lifetime, one life to another, things are just going, flowing. Just like a fire travels from one tree to another tree in a forest fire. No control which tree it will come. So similarly, from little mistake, we develop some desires. In one body, we go to another body, then this body, then the body, the life goes on. Even though the living entity may be very careful and fearful in matter executing, it's still very difficult for him to know what kind of body is going to get in the next life. Maharaj Bharata was very faithful, executing duties of self-realization. But by chance, he contacted temporary affection or a deer, and he had to accept his next life in the body of a deer. The Bharat Maharaj was very great king. I think I told you in the course those who gone through. Very great personality. Whole India was named Bharatvarsha after him. Most of the people say, Mera Bharat Mahan, they don't even know what is Bharat. This is after this king. But this great personality got attracted to a deer in the forest and got distraction. And he had to take a life of a deer next life. So we had to be very careful, fearful. Just because I'm chanting Hare Krishna, I cannot do anything and everything. I should be careful and fearful. Remember this word, careful and fearful. Yes, Mataji, now you can pick up little speed, we can finish.
Okay. Vasudeva, after deliberating on how to save his wife, began to speak to Kamsa with great respect. Although Kamsa was the most sinful man, sometimes it happens that a most virtuous person like Vasudeva has to flatter a person like Kamsa, a most vicious person. That is the way of all diplomatic transactions. Although Vasudeva was deeply aggrieved, he presented himself outwardly as a cheerful. He addressed the shameless Kamsa in that way because he was so atrocious. Vasudeva said to Kamsa, my dear brother-in-law, please consider that you have no danger from your sister. You are awaiting some danger because you have heard a prophetic voice in the sky. But the danger is to come from the sons of your sister, who are not present now. And who knows, there may or may not be sons in the future. Considering all this, you are safe for the present, nor in this cause of fear from your sister. If there are any sons born of her, I promise that I shall present all of them to you for necessary action.
So
Kamsa knew
now Kamsa, he is giving a promise, Vasudeva. And he's appearing very cheerful, even his heart is broken, seeing he's such a bad character. So a virtuous person, noble person like Vasudeva had to very pleasingly said, see, now to abhi to dar nahi hai na aapko. The death is coming from the eighth son. And we don't know whether the child will be born or not. Anyway, I promise you all the children from Devaki, I'll give it to you. Danger is not from Devaki. Danger is from the son. So shifted his focus. And he said, I give you all the children. I give you the promise. And you know, later he cheated him. He didn't give the eighth child. Interesting. Okay, you're not present. Who knows? There may be sons in the future. Considering although you're safe, but not the cause of fear from your sister. If there is sons born of her, I'll give you. Okay. Chalo, continue, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Kamsa knew the value of Vasudeva word of honor and he was conceived by his argument. For the time being, he desisted from the heinous killing of his sister. Thus Vasudeva was pleased and praised the decision of Kamsa. In this way, he returned to his home. After due course of time, Vasudeva and Devaki gave birth to 8 male children as well as 1 daughter. When the first son was born, Vasudeva kept his word of honor and immediately brought the child before Kamsa. It is said that Vasudeva was very much elevated and famous for his word of honor, and he wanted to maintain this fame. Although it was very painful for Vasudeva to hand over the newly born child, Kamsa was very glad to receive him. But he became a little compassionate with the behavior of Vasudeva. This event is very exemplary. For a great soul like Vasudeva, there is nothing considered to be painful in the course of discharging one's duty. A learned person like Vasudeva carries out his duties without hesitation. On the other hand, a demon like Kamsa never hesitates.
So demon like this never hesitates. Okay. So they gave to 8 male children and 1 daughter. When the first son was born, Vasudeva kept his word of honor and immediately brought the child to Kamsa. It is said that Vasudeva was very much elevated and famous for his word of honor. He wanted to maintain his fame. Hand over the newly, Kamsa was very glad to receive him, but he became a little compassionate. For a great soul like Vasudeva, there is nothing considered painful in the course of discharging a duty. See, the devotees are so great. A learned person like Vasudha carries out the duties without hesitation. On the other hand, demon like Kamsa never hesitates to commit any. Yes, Mataji.
Committing any abominable action. It is said, therefore, that a saintly person can tolerate all kinds of miserable conditions of life. A learned man can discharge his duties without awaiting favorable circumstances. A heinous person like Kamsa can act in any sinful way, and a devotee can sacrifice everything to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yes. So this show the picture. The Kamsa can do any heinous thing, and Vasudeva can do any kind of sacrifice for the good. Yeah. Continue. Yes, Mataji. Okay, now there's a here.
Kamsa
Kamsa,
became,
yeah, Mataji. Little you can pick up speed now.
yes,
3 pages.
Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Kamsa became satisfied by the action of Vasudeva. He was surprised to see Vasudeva keeping his promise and being compassionate upon him and pleased. He began to speak as follows: My dear Vasudeva, you need not present this child to me. I am not in danger from this child. I have heard that the eighth child born of you and Devaki will kill me. Why should I accept this child unnecessarily? You can take him back. When Vasudeva was returning home with his firstborn child, although he was pleased by the behavior of Kamsa, he could not believe in him because he knew that Kamsa was uncontrolled. An atheist person cannot be firm in his word of honor. One who cannot control the senses cannot be steady in his determination. The great politician Chanakya Pandit
Said.
said, Never put your trust in a diplomat or in a woman. Those who are addicted to unrestricted sense gratification can never be truthful, nor can they be trusted with any faith.
So now it has come. All women will be after my case. See, don't tell me. You talk to Chanakya. Nahi Vishwasha Kartavyam. He says there's Sanskrit shloka is there for that. So anyway, so the person who cannot control his senses can never be truthful. The Kamsa has no word of honor because he's unrestricted in his sense enjoyment. He cannot control his senses. Therefore, Kamsa will not be able to keep his word. Kamsa said, okay, you can go. But he knows tomorrow he may turn it, and he does turn it now. Yes. Now Narada comes into the picture. At that time,
the great sage Narada came to Kamsa. He was informed of Kamsa's becoming compassionate to Vasudeva and returning his firstborn child. Narada was very anxious to accelerate the descent of Lord Krishna as soon as possible. He therefore informed Kamsa that personalities like Nand Maharaj and all the cowherd men and girls and the wives of the cowherd men in Vrindavan, and on the other side Vasudeva, his father Surasena, and all his relatives born in the family of Rasni of the Yadav dynasty were preparing for the appearance of the Lord. Narada warned Kamsa to be careful of the friends and well-wishers and all the demigods taking birth in those families. Kamsa and his friends and advisors were all demons. Demons are always afraid of demigods. After being thus informed by Narada about the appearance of the demigods in different families, Kamsa at once became alert. He understood that since the demigods has already appeared, Lord
Lord,
Lord Vishnu must be coming soon. He at once arrested both his brother-in-law Vasudeva and Devaki and put them behind prison bar.
yeah, continue.
Within the prison, shackled in iron chains, Vasudeva and Devaki gave birth to a male child year after year, and Kamsa, thinking each of the babies to be the incarnation of Vishnu, killed them one after another. He was particularly afraid of the eighth child, but after the visit of Narada, he came to the conclusion that any child might be Krishna. Therefore, it was better to kill all the babies who took birth of Devaki and Vasudeva. This action of Kamsa is not very difficult to understand. There are many instances in the history of the world of persons in the royal order who have killed father, brother, or a whole family and friends for the satisfaction of their ambitions. There is nothing astonishing about this, for the demoniac can kill anyone for these nefarious ambitions. Kamsa was made aware of his previous birth by the grace of Narada. He learned that in his previous birth he was a demon of the name Kalanemi, and that he
Kalnemi.
was Kalnemi,
Kalanemi. Hmm.
Kalanemi, and that he was killed by Vishnu. Having taken his birth in the Bhoj family, he decided to become the deadly enemy of the Yadu dynasty. Krishna was going to take birth in that family, and Kamsa was very much afraid that he would be killed by Krishna, just as he was killed in his last birth. He first of all imprisoned his father Ugrasena because he was the chief king among the Yadu, Bhuj, and Andhaka dynasty, and he also occupied the kingdom of Suresena, Vasudeva's father. He declared himself the king of all such places.
So, he has acted. He was actually comes out very powerful personality, and he started acting, and he's demonic. His own father he arrested, and he left, right, center. And this is not cute. His Vasudeva, Devaki's sons are his own relatives, but he's killing them. We had somewhere, Nepal, it happened that so many kings were killed one night. It has happened many times in the history. I think Aurangzeb also killed his brothers. The power corrupts. When too much power, it totally corrupts, unless you are very specially trained. Thus, in the Bhakti, in the purport of the first chapter, Krishna, Advent of Lord Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna. Now we finish the chapter. Are there any questions anybody has? We can discuss something from this chapter, and then at the end we will have reflections. What are the best things we learned today? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Why
Padre.
did Kamsa was warned about, by Akashvani that Devaki and Vasudeva's eighth child will kill him? And same thing is
Kamsa, you are such
Narada
a
comes.
great fool, the eighth child of this woman. Why did that Akashvani happen? We
Yeah.
ask Devatas. Why do they do all that? Now, you think about it. Anybody has an answer why this happened? Everything has an answer, Mataji.
This is a Leela. If Kangsha show his
Yes, continue, bro. Sir, continue.
to make Kamsa show his character, so that his karma can kill him.
Okay.
Or maybe it's a type of warning to him that if he is willing, he can improve or correct himself.
मरने वाला है, क्या कर रहा है? मरने वाला है, आठवां बच्चा मार देगा तेरे को.
Because even in real life also, like whenever we do something wrong, it's always, Krishna sits in our heart and, in consciousness, he guides us, like what you're doing is right or wrong.
Somebody can note it down. All these are good questions, actually. I've never thought in that angle. Why did Devatas do that? Okay, but it happened. We know Devatas did it. Okay, then any other thing?
Prabhuji?
I got one more question. I forgot only. It just slipped from my mind. I was so engrossed in this.
No problem. You come back, Madhuri. I'll let other things go on. Yes, Heth. What is the answer for this question, Heth?
Prabhuji, I don't know the answer, but I want to say something, Prabhuji.
What do you want?
There is a story behind why Kamsa killed, or why the newly born 6 brothers of Krishna were killed, Prabhuji.
What is the story? What is the story?
Prabhuji, the Kamsa was born as Kalnemi in his previous birth, Prabhuji.
We just read that. That we read just now. Yes.
Prabhuji.
Then?
And then his sons, Prabhuji, like when Hiranyakashipu was doing, he was doing his yagna, or he was doing his tapasya. That time they tried to disturb him. So Hiranyakashipu gave them a
Curse.
curse that they will be killed by their own father in the next birth.
Yes. So actually, Kamsa was killing his own sons of previous birth. That's true. His boy know everything, huh? Chalo, next. Anybody else?
Prabhuji?
Yeah. Kavita Mataji, what is your question, Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
The instruction also is very nice.
I am Chaitanya.
You are?
Prabhuji, I am Chaitanya's mother here.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, actually, my mother, when she narrated this story to us when we were child, she said that Krishna wanted that जो कंस का पाप का घड़ा था should overflow. Overflowed. He this Leela.
Yes, okay. ठीक है. And then,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
yes.
Is it audible, Prabhuji?
Yeah, you're very audible, Mataji.
Yeah. I have a 9-year-old son, and I've never actually told him any stories much. I mean, not a much of stories of Krishna. As I myself, I feel like I should be learning first and then tell him in a real way. So, what is the way to introduce Krishna stories to my little boy?
Mataji, just give me 1 or 2 days. Let the course get over. I am making a team and very good people who have been expert. You see these children? Can you see these children? They are
It's so amazing. Yeah.
I'm
wondering like how are they doing this? Yeah.
I'm having a big meeting with all their mothers because around 1,000 requests have come for training the children. So we want to make a nice plan, and all the mothers are agreed to help me. Isn't it? They are the best. They have done it already, so they can help others also. So we just give me 2-3 days time. There is one Mataji who has been taking charge of the children still now. There was Shova Mataji, but she's also a very good Kannada teacher. So I just sit with her, and 3-4 of them together we have already very good syllabus also. They already have a very good syllabus. So we use see what has happened around the world. The children learning spiritual life has become big need on the Hindu community, like in America and all. They want the children to learn something about their culture. In India, at least, you are much more better off. Hai? They're so far away from their country and the value. They don't see things so much. So therefore, it's well-developed course material I'm having. I just wanted some Matajis to do because the Matajis are best for children. Small children, best taking care. And this
we are here in US, Prabhuji. We are here in US, and that's the reason. Like I'm just looking for my son to learn something, but from in a proper way. And also, please take care of the time. I mean, the timings also should be considered. The EST timing, Eastern time zone.
Yeah. We will be, Mataji. You can have my email ID. You know my email ID, personal email ID.
Yes.
Yeah, always feel free to write there, and just give me breathing time. Finish 16 today. 2 days my course get over. And course running, I have things, but I'm not able to make a decision because totally tight. And we should be able to come to a good decision and make a nice program for children.
Okay, thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
The book that has been read just now, what is the title of the book? Can I purchase it on Amazon?
Yes, you can. You can purchase it also. This is also online, also available. See, this book is called Krishna, the Supreme Person. This is soft copy what I have. This is, can you see the book?
Could you please share the link, Prabhuji, on WhatsApp group so that I can download it and read it in my leisure?
Can I share the link in the chat?
अभी कहाँ कर दो देखो माता जी these expert children. He is only 10 years old. I will share the link.
I want to share. Can I share?
Chalo. There are so many Prahladas with me, Bhakta Prahladas. Yes.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have 2 questions. One question is, there's a baby child also, along with male child, baby girl also Vasudeva had, right? So Kamsa killed a girl baby as well?
Right.
Prabhuji, girl baby was to that, na, Durga Devi.
See.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah, she was actually born to Yashoda and brought here and exchanged.
Prabhuji, she flew away?
Yeah, in the sky. Next chapter. Next chapter.
What about Subhadra, Prabhuji?
Subhadra is another child of Vasudeva only. Okay. Yes.
Prabhuji,
But not here. Subhadra was not born here. Yes. Here, who is Subhadra born to?
Rohini.
Prabhuji, Vasudeva and Rohini. Prabhuji. She was an incarnation of Yogamaya.
See these experts. Yogamaya. Hello.
And Baladeva.
Yogamaya.
Balram.
Balram ji.
There is only one temple in India of Yogamaya.
Oh, very nice. You have visited there also?
No, I just know.
Take it. Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, one more question. Like in between this Chanakya, something that he's saying has come, saying that
अरे अभी
we
माता
should
जी
not.
लोग मेरा पिटाई करेंगे. There was
Why
once a
specifically
nice.
is
I'll tell you
asking?
one bigger joke. Once, some God appeared to somebody. He said, he said, what do you want? He was praying. He said, can you make a bridge from, say, America to Europe? So he said, that's very difficult. Any other thing you have? No. Okay. Can you tell me how can I understand a wife's mind? So he asked him, you want 4-lane bridge or 6-lane bridge? He came to the previous one. So that's Chanakya. Chanakya had maybe very bad experience with his wife. He said, that's why he quoted him. Now he's Vishwasha Kartavyam. Prabhupada did not focus on the woman. See, in ISKCON movement, this is not, even though Prabhupada honestly writes, but was spoken by Chanakya. He never discriminated. He gave the woman total privileges. I think it's the only moment women get Diksha. Have you evenly shocked in ISKCON temples, women do Aarti also. You'll not see in any traditional temple women doing Aarti. He gave them all facilities. In countries like America, he even created Brahmacharini ashram. In India, we cannot create because society will create some problem for us. But in other parts of the world, that is not an issue. They are happy with equal privileges in India. So Prabhupada gave all the privileges to women. You see all the beautiful paintings I showed you, mostly made by women devotees. And they made amazing success of preaching also in this movement. So we never discriminated the practice. He mentioned the Chanakya said like that and he left it. It's a big discussion then on it. Abhi nahi, abhi to ye Mata ji log mera pitai karenge.
Sorry, Prabhuji, one more question, one more last question. Like in one of the Mataji in 3 o'clock session, I heard from Mataji that even this is a question related to women, probably during the monthly that cycle, that time also probably they can give arti, they can offer even they can offer this also to God. She has mentioned, but I'm a little bit confused on that.
I'll talk to her. She is my student only, Premi Kishori Mataji. She is a doctor now. She was a student in medical college in KMC. And she's herself a pujari. She's also initiated into pujari thing. Generally, there are two parts of vidhis. One is called Bhagavad Vidhi and Pancharatra Vidhi. In Bhagavad Vidhi, there are no rules and regulations. But when it comes to Pancharatra Vidhi, it's a separate issue. Understand? Bhagavad Vidhi, just like chanting, now hearing Krishna book, you can do with bath, without bath. You get up in the morning, you are having fever, still you can sit and chant. But when you are sick, having fever, we don't go near the deities. That's a rule. You should be healthy and clean when you go to do any seva to the Lord, not in an unhealthy situation. So like that, all those things are there. So Pancharatra Vidhi has some rules and regulations. And in that, what are the rules and regulations for a woman? I can check up and tell. I'm a brahmachari, but generally what I've heard is that deities, generally the woman should not touch during those times. She not only doesn't touch, she doesn't go near the pujaris also during that time. I'm in South India here. I tell you here, the traditional people, they will not even enter a temple during that time. As much I tell, come, there is a festival. No, sir, I cannot come. So they're very respectful and they feel not to go in that time. But I always impress upon them that actually that is not needed. You can come to a temple during such situations.
Yes, Prabhuji, even at home we follow that 3 days, 2 days minimum, we don't
touch. We don't touch
yes.
the deities. But you see, it's just like that. Sometimes I have a fever. I don't take bath. During that time, I do everything. I chant my round. I read Bhagavatam. I may even take a class here, but I will not enter the altar. I will say pujaris, I'll keep a little distance away because I'm muchi. I'm not clean. So it is just that. It's not to make big fad about it. It's just the body is not clean. That's all. Isn't it, Mataji? Correct?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Just
yes,
like
Prabhuji.
I'm not taken a bath. That's all it is. There's nothing to be thought more about it. And maybe that was the essence she was trying to build, not to think too much. Because in South India, if you are there, oh my God, whatever you do, I have so many of my they come from very pious families, very Brahminical families. They just don't, I'll not come. I said, come, I'll not come. I should not come. They're very respectful that during that time I'm somehow contaminated. I tell that is for Pancharatara Vedi, but not Bhagavad Vedi. They say, no, at home I'll chant, but temple I should not come. They have a feeling like that. Maybe she was speaking against it. Take care. I'll talk to her. Hare Krishna.
No, exception she has also given in case she is the only person available. There is no other person available to perform the duties.
See, some instruction may be there because she is actually a lady pujari. She was pujari in a temple in America. That is, which is that temple, ISKCON temple at some farm community. So she was doing seva there. So she will know more. I'll discuss about, because woman, I will get more instruction from her. I have not studied what are the instructions for a woman. She has studied.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Thank
you.
Prabhuji, I am attending.
Hare Krishna.
I have a question. This every time you see in most of the stories, always Narad Muni will come and he will tell something like now in this case he has said that all the demigods have already appeared, and fear which is already prevalent in Kamsa, but why he wants to instance so much fear in him?
Narada.
And why he is not telling the opposite? Narad Muni, I mean, he is such a Shrestha Muni,
No. See,
believer. He is
Narada.
why he is
what
not
happened?
telling Kamsa to surrender to Narayan? Like, then he is going to forgive and forget everything. And you will be.
Cannot. See, Narada.
So why he
See,
is always telling.
Okay, you have to understand Narada properly. Prahlad Maharaj is a Shishya. Dhruva Maharaj is a Shishya. Vedavyasa is a Shishya. He's a very great personality. Yes. Very great personalities, activities are very difficult to understand. He made Prahlad, he can make a bhakta. He's so powerful bhakta of the Lord. He is totally under the control of the Lord. He only acts to sweeten the Lord's pastime. He knew these people have to die by the hand of Kamsa. That is the shrapa they have. He knew that. He knew that is not going to stop. But he wants to accelerate the Lord to come. He wants the Lord to come. Because he's just like this. Suppose you're at home, it's a time for you to go down for kitchen, correct? But there is no force. You are the head of the house. You may go, you may not go. Okay, today no lunch. You can decide, isn't it? You are the head of. So similarly, Lord is the head of the universe. He can decide not to even come, even though that is his promise, even though it's his scheduled time according to Shastra also he's going to come. He may not come. So always the devotees urge the Lord to come. And the activities there too always is to sweeten the Lord's pastime, not to disturb. They never disturb. You know the similar thing he did to Ravana also. Anybody knows what he did for Lord Rama to come down? Anybody knows? Ravana used to walk on the stairs, and whom he had tied, the Devatas, thump, thump, on their back. He said, why back? Why not on the face? Then the Lord Rama immediately descended. No, my devotees. So he, maybe created a little material disturbance, but he wants the Lord to come and bless the whole world. Not that pain, he doesn't create any unnecessary. That was any way to come. They had to die from the Kamsa's hand. That they're his own sons of previous life. So sometimes what happened, Mataji, I just try to illustrate. There was a Leela of the Lord where the Indra disturbed by rain. That is disturbance. Brahma stole the coward boy, that is disturbance. Your question is similar. Your question is Narada disturbing the Lord's Leela? No, he is too advanced. He's so pure. Actually, whatever thought he has, whatever he speaks is by Krishna's urge only prepared. And he just sweetens the Lord pastime. They don't disturb. Apparently it looks. It is looking like that. It doesn't do that.
Prabhuji, actually he knows that, Prabhuji. Kamsa is like very demonic, Prabhuji. If we give him some instructions, he won't understand very easily, Prabhuji.
Mataji, these children, I don't know from where they are born.
In Guru Parampara, Narada Muni comes third. First Krishna is coming, second Brahma is coming, third Madhvacharya is coming, third Narada Muni is coming, and fourth Madhvacharya is coming.
Fourth is Vedavyasa. Fifth is Madhvacharya.
Vedvasa.
Hare Krishna.
And
Yes,
Prabhuji,
Manath, where are you?
Prabhuji, I have one more question. I have one question about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Somewhere I have heard that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Balrama's incarnation, and somewhere I have heard that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna's incarnation.
Yes,
And
Manath.
really who is
Ah, chalo,
Chaitanya?
this is children will answer. Ah, Manath.
Prabhuji, he is the mixture of Radharani and Krishna. He has came to taste the love of Radharani. That
Prabhuji, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the incarnation of Lord Krishna and Radharani, and Nityanand Prabhu is the incarnation of Balram.
Yeah. Take care.
Everyone is incarnation of demigods like Advaita Prabhu and more Prabhus. They are all incarnation.
Avi, Shuga, you are talking now advanced topic. When we discussed Chaitanya Charitamrita, we were reading that book. That's why the small children know everything.
Advaita Prabhu is the means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Sri Krishna himself, Nityanand Prabhu is Sri Balramji himself, and Nityanand Prabhu is an incarnation of the Lord.
Balaramji and Advaita Acharya.
Prabhuji, Krishna, then Balram, then Ramji, then Nityanand, right? No,
Then who is Advaita Acharya?
Mahavishnu and Shivji, Prabhuji.
Yes, Dekho, Mahavishnu and Shivji.
Acharya is Advaita Acharya is, I think, Shiva and Vishnu.
Yeah, is Vishnu and Shiva.
Acharya is Vishnu.
Hey, why your this thing is microphone is broken? It is coming like somehow sound is coming like that. Shulin, Salient. Okay, other people want to participate now. These children will not leave me otherwise.
Prabhuji, one last question, Prabhuji. From 2 to 3 days, actually, it was there in my mind, but I am a little bit afraid to ask this question.
Don't worry.
So that is all. I'm just on the gunshot of on you, basically the question on about you. So the question is saying that I heard from you only like one of the Acharya used to chant 192 rounds, more than 192 also, and that story, right? So and he is so dear to the God. So my question is basically, when for example in the devotion service, which way we can prefer, like whether we have to go to that kind of devotion, or like for example like example of you where you are probably spreading this knowledge bank to the across everyone, so we are so blessed with that. So which path we have to follow?
Okay. So your question is very difficult, and I'm happy because I know the answer. See, okay, now understand this. There are two kinds of devotees. One is called Ghoshanandi, one is called Bhajananandi. Bhajananandi means he is busy in his bhajan, and at a very advanced platform, sometimes the God orders a devotee, you just chant. Only such a special devotee can do that, constantly chant. It is not 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. That their special Lord is accepting their bhajana and is very pleasing, and he says, just you do that. So that's very special category. And previously we had such bhajananandis. We have this Gaur Krishnadas Babaji Maharajana Parampara, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharajana Parampara, or Haridas Thakur, just more or less, just most of the time just chanted. And their chanting is so pure with pleasure. It gives, so much love to the Lord, and Lord is very happy. It brings His grace on earth itself. That is one. But generally, Ghoshanandi are, so Ghoshanandi, who is preaching all around, looks like he's greater than these Bhajananandis, but it is not. They both are giving pleasure to the Lord. Correct? At the end of the day, pleasure to the Lord is what is needed. Presently today in society, this Bhajananandi is not possible because society is very disturbed. In fact, Prabhupada's guru, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, did not give, that's called Babaji Diksha to anybody. Rather, he was very much against Babaji lifestyle now. And even Srila Prabhupada never gave. Rather he said, I want hard workers. And same thing Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada. So as the situation of the mind and atmosphere is a bit disturbed, correct? Think about 200 years, a lot of changes have occurred in society. And also the facilities for entertainment, people's mind have become very fickle now. So to sit down all alone whole day to chanting, it is not. Idle mind is devil's workshop. People will get mad. So presently it's not recommended. It is good to be tightly engaged that you feel that time should stop. I tell you, you'll feel very happy. If you are free, then it is very difficult. We mind start getting into one unwanted habit to another unwanted habit. So this is the best engagement, is to keep yourself tightly engaged. At the same time, Haridas Thakur and all are at different time. Haridas Thakur is 450 years before, different situation. And you know, Haridas Thakur is Brahma. So we cannot even imagine to do what he was doing. Abhi Haridas Thakur ka interesting story hai. In Brahma Leela, you know that he stole the coward boys, correct? Anna?
Sorry, Prabhuji, you said Haridas Thakur is a Brahma.
He's Brahma himself. Brahma.
Okay.
So what happened in the previous Krishna Leela, you know, he stole the coward boys, correct? When he stole the coward boys, he felt very guilty of all that. And he prayed to Krishna that he knew the next incarnation coming, a Lord Chaitanya. Give me a position very humble. So he was born in a Muslim family. And he approached Lord Chaitanya for shelter. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu benediction started chanting. He was actually elder to Lord Chaitanya. He was already chanting when he met Lord Chaitanya, but that was his role. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu named him Namacharya because of his sweet chanting. And he was very humble in this pastime. He used to never enter a place where Lord Chaitanya is sitting. He said, no, I'm not fit to enter. I'm born in a low-class family. Always extremely humble. He was actually apologizing for his that mischief he did, no? Lord's Leelas to cover the coward boy. It was always very humble and very sweet pastime. And the very sweet pastime in the time when he leaves the body, continuously chanting. He, at the ripe end of his life, he calls one day, he meets Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he tells Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I know now your Leela is over, around 48 years. You have finished your mission. You may go any day. I will not be able to be here to see you go. So I have one request, that you leave the body, that I leave the body in your presence. And next day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he comes to meet him, and there is a big kirtan at his house, Haridas Thakur's house, and Haridas Thakur holds the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and keeps chanting Shri Krishna Chaitanya, and he leaves the body. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lifts his body in his hand, and they have personally makes a samadhi for him. It's a very sweet pastime. You should read in Chaitanya Charitamrita, very, very pleasing. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, that Haridas Thakur place is in Mayapur, right?
Haridas Thakur Samadhi is in Jagannath Puri.
Jagannath Puri.
Because of his humble behavior, Prabhuji, he even denied to go to Jagannath Puri because mostly Muslims are not allowed to go.
See, they know everything. Not inside Jagannath Puri temple. He came to Jagannath Puri. He never entered the temple because even today, he didn't want to disturb that custom. And anyway, he had come to be humble and simple. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arranged for him a small cottage near the temple. He stayed there. Even though he never entered the temple, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally came and gave him darshan every day. And he brings some prasadam for him with lot of love.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
There is
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, is there any shloka for this story?
Which story? Mugdha, which story?
This story which
Haridas Thakur story?
Which you are sharing right now.
Mugdha, which story? Haridas Thakur
Yes,
story?
Prabhuji.
That comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Mugdha. Actually,
Yes,
I was to
Prabhuji.
read Chaitanya Charitamrita after this, but today chapter was big. When we read, you can join us. After Krishna, we will be reading Chaitanya Charitamrita. Take care.
Prabhuji, am I audible?
Yeah. Oh, Shunil,
Yes,
wait. Your microphone is not correct today. Yes, Mugdha.
Prabhuji, I am done with my question.
Oh, ठीक है. So sharp they are. All are, 8 years, 10 years. Yes, I'm done with my question. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I think today was good to hear Krishna Leela, and this was a big chapter. And I heard the thing is okay. We can slowly speed up as understanding becomes clearer, and we will be able to easily read within half an hour, one chapter. Today took little time. Now the prayers for the Devatas. This is also a beautiful chapter. All the Devatas know Krishna has come. They offer beautiful prayers. We do tomorrow that. Okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Am I
Thank you.
audible?
Yes.
There is a problem of my mic.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. We leave now.
Yes,
Shruti?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I wanted to ask a question.
No, not now. 10. Tomorrow, no. Tomorrow. You write to me. I'll answer. Okay? Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Very thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Very happy.
Yeah, any input to improve this reading, please tell us. I think the speed was very slow. Mataji has done it, but I think it's good because you're hearing in the beginning. As understanding becomes clear, she can speed up.
Speed up.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.